So what I have here is our final baguette dough. And
boy, did that rise.
we're all ready to shape it.
So each time it's just going to get bigger and bigger, so make sure you're putting it in a bowl that's going to accommodate
Yes,
the size.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay?
You've got 3 sets of bowls where you get the little, the medium, and the large.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So you can see how it's nice and risen. And I always like to rise my doughs in these clear containers. That way you can keep an eye, and it's very exciting too as a home baker to watch the progress, you know, to watch it go from here
down to grow
you
up.
know, to
Sure.
grow up.
Okay.
So are you ready to shape a baguette?
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's turn our dough out.
What do you need?
Over there, there's a stainless steel bench knife.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's pull that up. This is what I use instead of knives at this point because I'm always afraid of cutting myself. So this will cut the dough very easily for you. All right.
Do you flour that or no? You just keep
Just
it
a
clean?
little.
Oh, you do?
Just
okay.
a little. Okay, just the top of the dough. So you see
Okay.
how beautiful that is and nice and silky. Okay. Baguettes are generally 14 ounces. Okay, which that is.
So do you weigh them out so they're all uniform in size and shape?
I
when
do.
You're, when you're
Each one.
cutting your dough?
Consistency is very important. We strive
But when you're
for
at
it.
home, you can really just, it's up to you.
Yes.
Okay.
This recipe that I gave you will make approximately 4 baguettes.
This is mine?
That's yours.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Just a little flour, not too much. Okay. When you make bread at home, always make sure you have somebody to clean up after you.
Oh, okay. That would be my husband. I
Okay,
cook, he cleans.
perfect.
That's the deal.
All right. A little rectangle. Press it down with your hands and elongate it ever so slightly. Perfect. Now what we're going to do, we need to build a structure for the baguette to hold. So we're going to fold it over just part way. There you go. With the heel of your hand, seal it. Good. Now roll again.
So pull it out a little bit when
Pull
you're
it
gonna
out
roast.
and
Pull
roll it
out
over and seal it again.
Oh, my roll slipped there.
Okay, you're doing
Well,
fine.
this is not so easy. This is,
Okay.
you know, there's a technique involved here. And again,
Over, again, seal it.
mine's getting longer.
Okay, you're not rolling enough, I think. Let me.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Also, that's a when you fold in, instead of pushing it in from the center and out from the sides, you kind of want to
Go from the outside
yeah,
in.
You know, fold. Okay.
You make
that
this
way you're
look
kind
so
of
simple.
because we're going to in the end roll it out to a standard baguette length, which is approximately 24 inches
Oh,
long.
so we're rolling all the way out to that length now.
Not quite.
Okay.
So I keep rolling until I'm all sealed, and the seal will become on the
All right,
bottom.
I'm not all sealed.
Let me just, can I give you a hand?
You certainly
Okay.
can. Thank you, James.
You're welcome. Michelle. Okay?
Oh, that was so much prettier now.
Okay, I'm going to do mine first, and then I'm going
Okay.
to let you do yours. Hand over hand. I start to roll. And you don't want a lot of flour because
Oh,
it needs
okay.
to stick to the table a little bit.
Oh,
Okay, roll. And I'm using all the weight of my upper body. I'm pressing
Okay.
on it, and I'm rolling it, and I'm rolling it, okay?
wow.
I'm about 3/4 of the length that I need. Keep rolling. Okay?
Does it ever happen where it breaks in the middle because you've rolled it out too far?
It sure does.
So can you mush it all back together and
The
start
other thing
over?
is the dough really has to be nice and relaxed, you know, in
So
order
should
for
we
you
play
to,
like nice
to roll
music,
it out.
give it a glass of wine?
Sure, that always helps, okay. So right now we're okay,
Okay.
with this length, right? One of the things that I do at my bakery is because I love to make these little points on the ends,
yes.
okay? And you know why I like those?
No.
Because they usually burn and they get really crunchy.
Oh, okay.
And I just love that flavor because, you know, when you bake the vinyl bread, there's starches that are turned to sugar, right? And there's still some sugar, I'm sorry, the sugar is turned to starches. And the sugar that is left on the crust that gives it that
It's
color.
a little caramelized,
Well,
kind
it's just
of
like,
burnt.
you know, pasty baking. If you're making caramelizing sugar for caramel ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's amber color to burnt,
Right.
And on that sugar thermometer, I like to go as far and
As
as
you
close
can.
to burnt as I can because to me that's a much more interesting taste.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay. So you want to try shaping this, or do I need to do it for you?
Well, I'll give it a shot,
Okay.
and then you might have to take over. So I'm just rolling from the center,
Exactly.
like that.
Good. And you really press it. You want to control it. Don't let it. That's perfect. Now watch. Lighten up in your pressure there. Apply more pressure on the ends because you want it to be as even as possible from end to end. Okay. You're doing great.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
Well, it's
Do
a
you want
little.
a job?
Yeah, but I'd get really fat because I just want to eat everything if I worked there.
That's okay.
right, well, it's not so bad, but
Okay.
it's not as perfect as yours.
That's
But we
fine.
didn't get our little round ends, though.
That's quite
Our
okay.
little pointed ends. Oh,
Okay,
All
so
right.
now there's a couple of different ways that you can proof them. One is on a regular baking tray that fits into your oven. That's the other thing. Some people at home have ovens which are, maybe half the length
size.
of commercial ovens.
Know the size of your oven.
Know the size of the oven before
Right.
that will determine the size of your baguettes.
okay.
Okay, so I put a little bit of semolina flour down
Okay. And you're
Okay.
just putting that down on parchment paper?
on parchment paper, and then I'm going to throw a little
Could
bit
you
of
use
flour.
a silk pad as well?
You
Or
can use
no?
a silk pad, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to take the baguette and I'm going to place it upside down so that the
so your
seam
seam's up.
is up.
And what is the point of that? Because
Because that way I get to turn it over and I get a beautiful flour imprint on the baguette.
Great.
It's not necessary. And if you prefer not to,
It's more
you may
aesthetics
just
the way
place
you-
it. It's just aesthetic,
Okay.
purely aesthetic. Okay? And then we'll cover these and we'll let them rise. And we need to preheat the oven, and I'm preheating it to about 500 degrees.
so is now when you would really start to preheat, or would you want to do this before you roll
want
it
to do
out,
that
maybe?
before we shape it.
Okay.
Okay, because it's going to take about 45 minutes to an hour, and the oven is going to take just about 45 minutes to heat up.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
So now,
Now,
I have some,
Ah,
and this is an alternative. These are in muslin cloth, and this is how I do most of them at the bakery.
Oh.
Okay, it just holds in the moisture of the bread and gives a beautiful fine imprint on the dough.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to bake these, and I like to bake the final baguettes just on a little bit of cornmeal or semolina,
Okay.
and then you take this and you just roll it over, and I just stretch it out just so slightly. Okay.
So perfectly even.
And again, another one.
Okay.
Okay. So now we want to score the bread, and this is the baker's signature.
Okay. So
Okay,
everyone
it's
has
like
their
signing
own
your
style
autograph.
here. Okay.
Hold the razor blade directly on top, and then flash it, kind of right down the center, imaginary line, and you
And
can see this
then-
kind of hook. Okay. One that is going to. It's my autograph,
So that's a little off from the center. You do a couple.
Little off.
That's your autograph.
but the main length is right down the center.
Right, okay.
Okay. Now we're ready for the oven. So the oven is preheated. It's at 500 degrees. At the bakery, I have steam injection buttons, and at home, you need to use an atomizer.
Right in your oven.
Just a plain atomizer, yes.
Okay.
You just want to be careful. Don't spray the light bulb,
Okay.
okay? Because it'll break. Okay?
And this is
so
doing
get it nice
what?
and moist.
Just creating some moisture inside.
This is
that's it.
going to allow moisture to.
Make sure you put your fan
Build
on
around the
before you
oven.
do this, so
Yes.
your smoke detectors
Okay.
don't go off.
We're going to place that in there, and then we're going to close it. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do is every 3 minutes, during the first 20 minutes of baking, and this bread will take, every 3 minutes during the first 10 minutes, we're going to open it up and we're going to spray some more water.
Oh, right on the bread this time? Or
All
just
around it.
around the bread?
All
okay.
around it, okay? And what that is going to do is it softens any crust that may have formed on the outside of the baguette during its rising. And it's going to allow the yeast to have its final living action before it dies at about 200 degrees. And it'll have a full bloom in the oven.
Wow,
all right?
great.
Bread baking is so rewarding. And
Just when you break that first piece off.
yeah, you can hear that
get
beautiful
big,
crunch.
Big piece of cheese
right?
to go with it.
So
Now,
this
is there a particular name for this that you said you?
This is the
called?
AP, EPI.
Looks like a bunch of little rolls just sort of
Well,
attached together.
exactly. Restaurateurs love to do that.
Oh.
That's what they, instead of buying a dozen rolls, assorted rolls,
Right.
they like these because they break them off, and you have an individual roll. But the important thing is, do you hear that crunch?
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait
Crackle.
to taste it.
And you see when you break it apart, see how it pulls?
Right. And
Okay.
look at all the air
And look
pockets
how beautiful
inside.
that is, right?
Yeah, that's great. Wow. This is for me?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, it's so soft.
Isn't that nice? And it's crispy.
Yeah.
And it's light and it's
Well,
airy.
good bread should be crispy on the outside and Soft on the inside.
Soft and moist in the inside. Okay, and just it should have a slight chew. The resilience. Here's one of those points I was talking about. See how dark it is, and it's nice and crunchy. I love those.
This tastes great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, this is
doesn't
delicious.
need butter.
It doesn't need butter at all, even though I like to put butter in everything.
And you see how doing that pre-ferment
Well, it's really
adds
moist
some flavor.
inside, though.
Because it's a well-hydrated dough, and doing that pre-ferment really adds a lot of moisture and holding, characters to the bread.
By doing 2 different types of treatments to your bread, is it still just going to taste the same? I mean, is this loaf of bread going to taste the same as this loaf of bread? Okay.
Yep.
So it's really just for looks, what you prefer and the way
Absolutely.
it looks. Well, this is wonderful.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.